Father, what I would give to see your face, a face so strong and fine, to feel your hand, see your blue eyes smile, O Father, Father mine. God took your hand so suddenly and led you quietly away, but my sorrows now turn to sweetness, for deep in my heart you will stay. And so in a garden of roses, with birds singing high in the trees, O Father, my heart rejoices with treasured memories. For someone who's in the hospital, this ditty comes to say, I hope you'll soon be strong again, with each and every day. It must be awfully boring, just lying there in bed, scattered books and papers that you have read and read, knitting needles clicking, the ball of wool falls to the floor. Oh, brother, oh, oh, bother, I've dropped a stitch now, and the wool's rolled out to the floor. Nurses popping in and out, they leave you in a whirl, asking, do you want a bedpan, dear? That's a good girl. Flowers and fruits and candies by the score. So many wishers. Even the dog sends a paw. A first class specialist and doctor too come every day to see how you do. So when you come home, plus the brand new hip, you'll come down Verona with a hop and a skip. So chin up and best hip forward, and you'll soon be home once more. I'll shake that mat, hang on the flags, put welcome on the door. I'll end my little ditty now. I hope it makes you smile, for it was written specially while time I had to while. The empty chair. An empty chair by the fireside, a photograph nearby of the one we loved so much and lost. We can't help but ask God why. Memories now are all we have, so cherished and so true, of happy, sad, and carefree days that we shared with you. The ache in our hearts is painful to bear, but we sit and look at the empty chair, and yet as each day draws to a close, God gives us comfort and silence which shows that really you're not very far away, and to know deep within us that one sunny day our footsteps will take us to meet you above, to rest peacefully together in God's garden of love. The old house. There's a garden I remember where weeds and brambles grow, where sunshine rarely entered, dark trees their shadows threw. A gloomy drive I led up towards a mansion bare and cold, where a massive oak stood sentry, its broad trunk gnarled and old. Within the house thick cobwebs festooned the crumbling walls. No tapestries or chandeliers now graced the lofty halls, and in the eerie silence one could hear the sighing breeze, the hooting of the owls at night, the rustling of the trees. The oak still stood in splendor through winters hard and cold, till spring returned and leaves grew green, which autumn returned to gold. And often when I passed that way on summer days so fair, I would venture through the wrought iron gates to gather acorns there. The years passed by, and then one day to the village I returned, and passing up the country lane, I beheld a scene transformed. Gone was the stately mansion, the oak, the gloomy wood, and on that spot a block of flats and spacious gardens stood. Sometimes, in reminiscent mood, I think of the old tree, of the sad and crumbling mansion that once stood in majesty, where sunshine rarely entered, dark trees their shadows threw, and only the ghost of bygone days, still haunt the morning dew. The cupboard. Hingily, peggily, there they lay, all kinds of toys in disarray, teddies and dolls and clockwork toys, skipping ropes, planes, trains for the boys. A gowling sat on a broken chair, one arm missing, his coat threadbare. A china doll with her dress all torn was poked in a box, looking most forlorn. The doll's house stood in the corner, its facade all dirty and gray. The cotton wool smoked from the chimney, having long since been blown away. The door swung on its hinges, the window pane gaped wide. The furniture lay discard, cobwebs festooned inside. Jigsaw puzzles, a spinning top, a teddy without a paw, a somewhat battered elephant that was used for propping the door. Picture books and coloring books in gay profusion lay, a box of colored marbles which gave fun on a rainy day. A jack in the box, a paper hat which was perched on the head of a velvety cat. A clockwork mouse huddling nearby was watched by a dog with a winking eye. A box of bricks, some conjuring tricks, a train with no wheels at all, a cricket bat and a cowboy hat, and a bouncing rubber ball. So if you have a cupboard filled with things in disarray, sweet memories of childhood shall surely come your way.
It's lovely, isn't it?
I like that one. The seatbelt. When into the car you step, the first thing one should do is clunk click into your seatbelt. Simple, maybe for you. But oh, the muddle I get in. It really isn't true. So if you're sitting comfortably, my tail I will begin. Hang on just a minute. It's got me by the chin. The wretched thing is twisted now. My arms and coat are caught. Oh, help. One end is longer and the other is too short. Gosh, I just can't breathe now. I'll have to let it out. The wretched thing still twisted, and my elbows has a clout. Feeling somewhat fraught by now, and hot and bothered too. Would you believe it? My hair is caught. What am I gonna do? So gathering all my patience, with a tempered somewhat fray, I clasped my hands together, and in desperation prayed. My fervent prayer was answered, and with grateful thanks to him, the wretched thing unwrapped itself, and in triumph I clicked it again. So when you next step in your car, I hope you are more lucky, for to face this confrontation, you must admit I'm plucky. The attic. Up in the roof of our old house, occupied only by spider and mouse, there is a room that is dark and hidden away. The attic it's called. Come with me, let's explore today. The doors squeak oddly as you open it wide, to reveal the treasures that are stored inside. There's a hole in the roof where the rain drips through. There's a broken nest of sparrows, too. Leaves and dust are everywhere, and an eerie silence pervades the air. A Wellington boot and an old cycle wheel, a basket containing rods and a reel, cobweb festooned trunks and tins, boxes and jars and pots and bins, an old washing mangle at such a strange angle, a picture frame rotting and damp, a bird in a cage, a coke moldy with age, hockey sticks, rackets, and lamps, an old bedside table once used by Aunt Mabel, a moth-eaten fox fur cape, a weird wooden figure lying near something bigger, in the form of a stuffed woolly ape, and poked in the corner, little Jack Horner was Granny's favorite chair, and heavens was that. Why Why, it's mother's old hat she wore to the country fair, now covered in dust and not without rust. Old faithful Nettie still stands. Such fun we had, many secrets shared. We when we rocked to the imaginary land. But now the air seems colder. Strange rustling sounds I hear. I don't like darkening shadows and creepy things I fear. I think we'll make our way downstairs to where there's warmth and light, and leave the attic in our house to the creatures of the night. I sit alone now beneath the tree green bough, recalling the years we shared with love. Dear mother, do you think of me in your heaven above? I walk alone now along the windswept cliff, gulls' cries ringing my ears, and the stinging breeze dries tears that still I shed. Then I remember how you would turn to me, voicing your wonder at God's wonderful sea. Dear mother, such joys we shared. My heart is lonely now, as part of me went with you that day, when our dear Lord called you away through the valleys of darkness and death into the light of heaven's sweet breath. Dear mother, pray for me. I sit alone now in the dimming twilight, watching the leaves and shadows fall, and in the flickering firelight, these beautiful words I recall. I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Whosoever live and believeth in me shall never die. Then deep in my heart where the Lord had his home, in the peace of his love I am never alone. Thank you, dear mother, for all your love. Remember me in your heaven above. Our love. Although I haven't known you long, you are in my thoughts each day. For the love we share between us, it's so special in every way. Having you, darling, to talk to, sharing a laugh and a smile. Just sitting quietly together makes life seem more worthwhile. Happy memories of summer days when we first really met are cherished deep within my heart, moments never to forget. And now in the autumn of our love, golden moments we share. And I recall the day when your hands and mine we knelt together in prayer. And now is the Christmas of our love, with holly and trees so bright, candles shining softly, shedding their gentle light. And as we sit together in my heart, I offer a prayer, thanking him for the gift of you and the precious love that we share. Teddy bear. Once I was loved and carried around. I was kept in good shape, tubby and round. I wore a silk bow and my seams were all tight, and I was always taken to bed at night. I was talked to and cuddled, brushed each day. There wasn't a game that I didn't play. I was one of the family, the very best friend, never thinking it could come to an end. But my friend grew up and found more to do than talk to old Teddy, so loving and true, was thrown in a cupboard, left there to cry. The door was shut hard without a goodbye. I stayed all alone for what seemed like years, in the dark and the quiet, with just dust and my tears. A shaft of bright sunlight dazzled my eyes. A young man, smiling face came as a surprise. I am back in a bed now, and not all alone. A new friend has found me, and made me a home. Mm.
Is that the last one?
It's the last one.
What an amazing, amazing book of poems, isn't it?
It is.
Very lovely. And then we've got all the stories to read.
Oh yeah.
The Peacock Fan, the Egyptian Adventure, the Halloween Party, all sorts of things. Very lovely. Well, it's nearly midnight, and I have to say that you must go home and get some sleep. I don't want you to go home. You do know that, don't you?
I know.
I want you to stay with me all the time. And of course you do stay with me all the time because you're in my heart all the time, which is lovely. But there's nothing like having you in person. Thank you for doing that. That was lovely.
Of course. I'll talk to Carol tomorrow and let you know what day she wants to come.
Okay.
It's either tomorrow or Tuesday.
Just love looking at your face. It's lovely. Just lovely. I can still remember how it was when I was in hospital and you came in. You looked absolutely fantastic in your red top. Your hair all brushed back and you looked so happy, and I thought, oh my golly, is this really happening to me? And it was. But it just seemed like a dream to me. All this, it just seemed like a dream. It's amazing. You know? It's funny, isn't it? The things you can't believe.